Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew, but my real name is Eric, and welcome to another Chewy Mew review where I basically just review my Spider-Man figures, or, review other stuff too. In the previous review, we took a look at the Spider-Man Classics Sandman figure. Really, really awesome figure. In my opinion, it's the best Sandman. The only issue with mine is that the hands, they broke right here in the wrist, so I can't swap the hands out. I had to super glue them on to just keep it on. And I kind of lost the other hand. I'm going to put them back up on my shelf, and let's take a look at the figure for today. Today we've got, I think, the 2004 Toy Biz Jack-O-Lantern. Oops, stand up, stand up. So originally, I think I got this one at a yard sale, because I was maybe 6 or 7 or something, and I got it at a yard sale. And the reason I got it was because I thought this was some sort of Green Goblin figure. Because I didn't read comic books and he never appeared in the 90s cartoon or anything. So I always just thought he was like a Green Goblin or something. Like it was a Green Goblin with a weird head. Because I didn't know the comic books or anything at the time. But, pretty cool figure. Has a gimmick that when you flick his arm, he had these pumpkin bombs. Which they look really cool with flames. I'm really glad, some yard sales I went to, a lot of figures because the kid already outgrew a lot of his toys. So he was selling most of them. And I'm really glad I was able to get a lot of Toy Biz toys. Yeah, let's take him off of his glider. First, let's take a look at the glider. So it's a pretty hard plastic. It's not other Green Goblin gliders where it's like a squishy and stuff. I think the face on that looks really nice. And there's pumpkin bombs, each have their own faces. I'm so glad the phone auto focuses. And then there's the base. So his feet go through here. I'm not too sure I'm not too sure why there's I don't know, I can't say that. I'm not too sure why there is this big circle here in the middle. I always thought they were supposed to be something you put on it. But no, I guess you could put the pumpkin bombs on it or something, but they don't stay. Either way, glider looks pretty cool. I definitely think Toy Biz had a lot of fun making their gliders because they always look really awesome. Now let's take a look at the figure. I'm going to straighten out his joints. That way we can take a look at this figure. This figure has a lot of articulation. The only thing is his gimmick kind of messes with the figure, the arm down. So also the shoulder pads, he's supposed to have another shoulder pad there, but mine come off. And I think I lost this one, something when I put it in a toy box with all my other toys. I think keep dropping that. I lost it. It looks okay with the shoulder pads off, but having one looks kind of funky. But let's take a look at his articulation. So his head moves all the way around, which a human couldn't do, but hey, it's a toy. Also, his head, it pops off, and you can see there's a little thing right there. The head pops off, which I don't think it's supposed to, but it does come off. So what I did was I would take the head off, and I would pretend it's his head was a pumpkin bomb, and I'd play with my other Green Goblin. When I would play with this Green Goblin, I would pretend that this was a pumpkin, a very special pumpkin bomb that was crazy or something. Kids, little kids like to be creative, like to use toys for other things. But this arm is stuck like this, that when you move it, it swings down, because the whole thing is supposed to be that you're supposed to put a pumpkin bomb in his hand, and then he throws it, which I never really figured out how to do it, make him throw it actually good. But this arm would rotate all the way around, but it gets stuck right there. It rotates backwards, but it doesn't rotate, you can't move it forward. Once you move it here, it kind of just swings back. It's karate chop thing. That's what I used it for. I used it like he was karate chopping. But either way, this arm does rotate all the way around. If you hear that weird crunching kind of sound, that's because the arm has a very, very tight joint. The arm rotates here at the bicep. I'm also really glad that it just looks, I feel like the figure just looks really awesome. He has a double bend in the elbow. I think he has a rotation in the wrist. Oh yeah, he has a rotation right here on the wrist, or a little bit above the wrist, like in this area right there. He has the bend in the wrist, and then his four fingers, they close. It also looks like his hands are really tiny compared to other figures. His hands just look really small, but well, whatever. And I think his waist rotates. Does it? Oh yeah, the waist doesn't rotate here, but it rotates down here in the below the belt. Yeah, it rotates pretty good. The legs do kind of get stuck on the belt here, which I do think the belt looks really awesome. It's like a rubbery plastic. It has like a little, like, it looks like the angry face emoji kind of. And it's all these belts with all these like pouches and stuff. I think that's really cool looking. The legs don't kick out too good, however. One thing I did as a kid was I would move the belt to try and kick, but his legs, they kick out a good distance, but they don't kick forward too much because, you know, his belt right here kind of blocks that. The legs rotate all the way around. Ooh, I didn't notice that joint. I don't think I noticed that joint. But yeah, the legs rotate up here. They rotate from up here, like with the ball joint here, but then they also rotate here, like in that spot. It's kind of funky that they gave them two joints like that right next to each other. I bet there's probably some useful stuff. Then the knee has a double bend in the knee, which this one bends good, but this one down here, that one's really hard to bend. Bending that one's really hard on the left foot, but on the right foot, yeah, it just this joint here, the second knee joint down here on the bottom, it's harder to move than the first one. And he has a rotation here below the cut of his boot. He has a bend in the ankle, which that's really good. Both of those are really good. Focus camera. Okay. Then his very good ankle pivot. Like, look at that. That's crazy. But also, I feel like a figure that rides a glider really needs ankle pivots, because without ankle pivots, it's hard to put them on the glider and have them like stay there. Then the toe bends down or up and down. But yeah, this figure, I had a lot of fun with this. I always use this figure as a Green Goblin, because before this, the only Green Goblin I had was the movie Green Goblin. Fixing the legs back. The only Green Goblin I had was the movie Green Goblin, so I pretended that this was Green Goblin, or some other times I would pretend this was Hobgoblin. And I even asked the kid who was selling this, who is this? Like, who is this? And he said, I don't know, I think it's some sort of Green Goblin or something like that. And I was like, oh, and then he told me it might have been like, this is like the hairy Green Goblin. But I mean, he didn't know either, and I didn't know because I was a little kid. I didn't read any comic books yet, so yeah, that's why. But definitely like this figure. Definitely think it's a pretty cool one. I think there is another jack-o'-lantern that was released. I think there was. I think it was like a Marvel Legends jack-o'-lantern. I think it was like in the Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave or something like that. Like, I think there was, where he rides a broomstick and he's like skinny or something. I don't know. I think so. When you press this button back here, that button right there, you can see that button right there. Camera focus. If you press it, his head lights up. That looks kind of good. It looks pink. Like, it looks really pink on my phone camera, but in real life, it looks like red. Okay, so that's the end of this review. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, it's really good. You know, leave a like and leave a comment. Tell me, let me know what you think about this figure. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye guys. Wow.